Okay, get the battery connected. Going over one last little checklist of things. Making sure stuff's plugged in. Now the alternator's not connected, so battery's not going to charge. It's not going to run a real long time. Well, I had the car up in the air to do the oil change. I spun the power steering pump with a drill. So, all right. Fingers crossed. It also didn't have a lot of oil in it. And I'm assuming that's something the junkyard does to try to make sure no oil spills if the motor tips at all, but there was like hardly any in it, so. Oh. A little bit of funny noise when it started. Seems to be straightening out though. Secondary air. Well, it's a pretty funny noise. Sounds like metal grinding on metal. Could be just a disc somewhere. Seems to run good though. I don't think it's internal in the motor. I think that it's like a disc is rubbing on something. The crank pulley has like a little retaining ring. I think maybe it's just something like that. So I'll try that. See if we can straighten it around, but it runs. That's good. Not a funny noise. Okay, so I worked on this thing a little bit when I got home last night. I had to run my wife into town, but the owner came out and we fixed a couple things. The noise that you heard was basically just a it was a bolt that was a little too long for a cover on the flywheel housing, and the bolt was just running on the edge of the flywheel. Makes no noise. I'm gonna probably time lapse me cleaning the shop, just a slow time lapse, like not a long one. We're gonna do pictures every 5 seconds or 10 seconds, something like that, so that just a small piece. Feel like I need to clean some stuff up in here before I do anything else. Maybe try to organize some parts for some of these jobs. So I do need to take this thing for a drive. I might do that too. Yeah, we'll go from there. Once I get that Subaru over here and we'll clean some room out, I'll start making some good content of stuff. Like I said, I've got some fender flares that need to be prepped. They're plastic. And then this Subaru, I'm gonna get that over here right now. I got a message from the guy with the motor on that thing, and the heads are done, so I can assemble the Subaru motor and get it back in it as soon as I get the front end done. And that car will be like pretty much done after that. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so clean the shop up, move some stuff around. Pretty boring video, I know. This one's kind of crappy and boring. I'm trying to put some content out for you guys, just to let you know I'm not just sitting around my house doing nothing. I'm working to put content out. I'm doing these lessons that you guys are doing. Yeah, so we got the Subaru up on the lift. You probably saw that. And the struggle is real to get it over here. I had to put it on some dollies, and yeah, you can see the dollies. I use these car dollies. You jack the car up, put the wheels on, and you can kind of just, they got casters, you kind of just move them all around however. I put the Cabrio over here so that I can hopefully finish the engine bay. I'm gonna really try to start hammering on some stuff here. I really don't like doing mechanical work as much as I have to. That was the motor job was kind of a favor for a friend, and it's a good thing to get into. You know, like I said in the last one, you can it's something you have to do. Just like the Subaru, we had to take the motor out of it. In the body industry, sometimes you got to do that. So yeah, so this is the engine bay. I took the rain tray out of it, and there was holes all over in the inside of it, like here, and there's various holes all over that are filled. And there's supposed to be a hole right here that I panned in, just to kind of make this all nice and smooth. This is what show car guys do to make their engine bay look pretty. We're gonna put an engine in there. This car was actually right-hand drive. You guys have all met Tommy. He's the guy with the my truck that he got from me, that Tundra. And then he has a really nice GTI too. I think you guys probably all seen that. This is the Corrado I was telling you about. Again, now it's covered in stuff, but kind of put all my parts in a pile over here. That way it utilizes space until I get ready to paint something. Put this car back in and then my GTI will be back in. So my plan is to put my GTI over here and put this Subaru down. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm hoping, I don't know if you can see this, hopefully the light adjusts under here. Basically, here, let me go to flashlight real quick. Basically, what I'm gonna do is, and I'll explain it first. All right, so I'm going to cut. Actually, you can really see the amount of mess that's up in here now. So as you can see, this rail was crushed pretty good right here, and it actually had folded over, and we pulled it back. All this, you know, all this was folded. It kind of came back, but still not good. So my plan is, I think all this metal is pretty unharmed up to like here. Feeling like there's a little bump there, and there's actually a kink right there. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know how that got there like that. Huh. Well, my plan was to cut this here somewhere, and it might have to come back a little further. My thought process was, if I cut it, of course you probably can't really see it right from there. If I cut it in the middle of this somewhere so that I can retain both of these bolts, I can bolt this piece back on. You know, what I'm gonna cut out can go back on and still retain this bolt hole, so that's how I can line everything up. I forgot that this was kinked all the way back there. That kink is definitely stress on this related, which is weird because it swayed this way, so I don't know how that got kinked that way, unless that's supposed to be there. But we can check. You can always check on the new piece, right? So this is the new piece, and this is where that kink would be, is right in here somewhere, and it's not there. So same thing with this. There is a little bit of a bow in that other one on the other side, and it is not there on that one. So I guess probably what I'll wind up doing is I'm gonna end this video here. Like I said, I apologize that this is kind of a boring one. Just trying to get some of this stuff cleaned up around here. But probably the next one I'll do, I'm gonna start tearing this thing apart and go from there. Today is Thursday, that'll be Friday. Maybe I'll save it for next week. You're probably gonna see this video tomorrow, which is Friday. I'm gonna do this one tonight. Again, it's kind of a boring one and I apologize, but this is where we're at. Sometimes you gotta clean stuff up, get stuff out of here. I'm gonna go take that red car for a test drive and hopefully it goes good. Okay, see you later. Okay, so I guess that ride went better than I thought it was going to, and I'm back here and I still got probably an hour before I'm done. So I think what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna take the hood off of this guy and the fender off of that side, and I'm gonna cut the radiator support off of it. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll probably put a time lapse on while I'm doing that, and then I'll stop it just to kind of show you guys what I'm doing, where I'm cutting, and the reasons why for right now. The first initial cut you see when I show you guys like Blue Collar Kyle and that stuff, that first initial cut is basically just get stuff out of the way so that you can figure out where you're gonna need to be and put stuff. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut this thing apart real quick and see how it goes. All right. power steering pump to go left on. Try to fold everything that's forward of this section back. I think what I'm gonna wind up doing here for now is just cutting this front end right off. Probably get the Sawzall out, cut this, cut these upper rail pieces, cut all this stuff that's all mangled for now and kind of get it out of the way. That way I can assess what's going on here a little bit better. I'm finding more stuff. The more I peel apart, the frame is bent pretty bad up into this apron section. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to take the back half of the rail a little bit longer than the front half of the rail, and I'll show you how all that goes. That way I can kind of slide them in like this and they make an overlap. So the front half of the rail, or the inside, will be cut back like this, the outside will be cut like this. So this one goes so that you're not making a seam. That makes sense. You're not making one full circular seam. You're making a half a seam here and half a seam back here. It'll help the rigidity of it because I'm gonna have to cut and weld, you know, quite a bit of it. So that's my plan. I'm gonna leave the towers in place where the towers are. Before I do any full cutting back and like basically unwelding the seams, I'm going to try and build a cross brace for the strut towers to hold the strut towers in place, and maybe build something back to the firewall so I know that nothing moves anywhere. I can also take measurements now to see where, you know, we had got this pretty straight, but I want to make sure the tower is right where it needs to be, or the two towers. So okay, I'm gonna move some wires and cut the front end of this thing off, and that's probably all I'm gonna get done today. So I'm gonna end this in a time lapse. We'll see how this goes from there. Okay.